Today we're going to talk, me and Brad will give you an update in sports. We'll come around. Today me and Brad are going to talk about SIU and likeness. We're going to get into the subject that now runs the world of college sports, which is likeness. What is defined by NIL stands for a name, image, and likeness. It refers to the person legally right now in control image and likeness, including commercial and college. Basically, it means the player makes money. I do not like the definition, so we're going to leave it at that. That's what the player does. He makes money off of his likeness. Jersey, cap, shoes, whatever. It makes more probably, but you get it. Jersey, cap, shoes, video games, all that stuff. In this podcast, me and Brad discuss how it is a disadvantage for SIU sports and how it affects them. It's an area of school where it's a school where the minus into the debt as of right now, whereas similar schools get the big money. Let's give examples of a school like SIU. Indiana State star Robert Alieve was one of the best breakout players in 2023 to 2024. He entered the transfer portal like everybody knew he would. Alieve, 6'10" sophomore center, averaged 17.4 points a game and 4.1 assists for Indiana State. Season-ending first-team All-Missouri Valley honors. Along the way, he became one of the sport's most enduring
Avila.
Avila is the guy's name. Correction on those guys that I said leave. Alavia along the way became one of the sport's
most endearing
personalities as a combination of trademarks, goggles, and playing at Larry Bird's former school earned him the nickname Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Larry needed and Steph Blurry. Indiana State went 32-7 and was widely known and considered as a big snub for the NCAA tournament. It earned the number one seed in NIT and beat SMU in Minnesota and Cincinnati and Utah before falling in the final to NIT final to Seton Hall.
Avila
is one of the greatest Indiana State basketball players to enter the portal in his past 2 days, which included the team final five leading scorers. There's a chance of the five end up in St. Louis, and they all did. Although none of them marked their portal entry. He left, and that's an example of leaving, an example of likeness where it did not help an MV school, much like SIU. Now let's listen into Sam Vaughn Sports and Brad Palmer on likeness. Is likeness for SIU, since they have budget issues, making college sports harder for SIU to win?
Definitely, yeah. You hit it on the head. Yeah, the NIL, SIU doesn't have a ton of money to offer their student athletes, and only a few of them would get money at this point in time. So, yeah, I think that schools at SIU's level, if they have a very talented player, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, whatever, softball, they're going to lose them to a bigger school, more than likely, because the bigger school can swoop in there, and if nothing else, say, here, I'll give you this much money and to come play for us. I mean, last year, the SIU softball team went to the NCAA tournament, went to a regional championship game, lost to LSU. They had a phenom freshman pitcher who won like 40 games last year. And we all knew all season long, as she kept getting better and better, that she was likely going to leave, and she did at the end after the season was over. She moved on to another school. So that's the way it goes at SIU's level right now. If you develop a really outstanding player, you're probably just developing them for somebody else to come in and swoop and take them away from you. So that's got to be hard for a coach to realize that, but that's the way it is until the end. Now, if the NCAA changes that in some form or fashion, who knows? Maybe it'll help the smaller schools, the mid-major schools, so to speak. But this point, SIU's kind of in a tough spot.
Do you think that's with every school in the MVC, or is it just?
Yeah, to some extent, I think. You got, Indiana State last year was a very good team. Probably should have made the NCAA tournament. Lost in the conference tournament championship. Didn't make it. Went all the way to the NIT championship game and lost on a last-second shot. Their coach left to go to St. Louis University. He took most of his good players from Indiana State with him to St. Louis. So now Indiana State's down a little bit this year because they lost a lot of their roster. That's just especially if you lose your coach to a bigger school, he's going to take what he considers his best players with him. And that makes it very difficult to sustain a program at that level for year after year. I mean, some of these schools that do it are remarkable. At the football level, for instance, North Dakota State, I mean, they are in the championship every year. They've won, I think, 10 of the last 14 championships. That's remarkable. But they pick guys who fit their system perfectly, and when they get there, they stay there. And that's what Coach Nagy, the basketball coach at SIU, he doesn't like this roster turnover, as most coaches don't. He wants to, bring in a high school senior, keep him there 4 years, developing, have him graduate, that sort of thing. That's just not the landscape right now of college athletics, unfortunately. So we'll see if he can overcome that the next couple of years and get some of his players in that he has more time to recruit. And that's the thing with the mid-major levels. I mean, you're just dealing with new players every year. It's tough for fans to get behind a team oftentimes because the players are different every year. You don't get to know players for 2, 3, 4 years. So it's just a not a good situation, I don't think, overall, but the NCAA has let it go so far now. I don't know how they're going to turn it back at this point.
Mizzou plays their hearts out against Tennessee, winning 34-28. Missouri would get it up to 8, but eventually Tennessee would take the lead in the second half with 15:27 to go. And they would take another lead with 12:43 to go and would never look back. But it was a barn burner. Tennessee 85, Mizzou 81 as they give it their all at Tennessee. Mizzou falls to 17-5 and 6-3 in conference play. They play Texas A&M Saturday, 2:30 SEC Network. Eagles go for their second Super Bowl in their history. The Chiefs go for their third in 3 years. And Chiefs go for their 5th Super Bowl. And third in 3 years, as everybody knows, the Chiefs can use the word three-peat. Pat Riley gave permission to the Chiefs today to use that and not trademark it. I gotta be honest, I know you couldn't use it on shirts, but this is what I would call it, a three-peat. What's the difference? Saquon Barkley facts, 30 yards to surpass former Bronco running back Terrell Davis of marking and rushing yards in regular seasons and playoffs. That was the last running back champion of the regular season won a Super Bowl. Not allowing 100 yards to Barkley is important. In all the Eagles' losses, Saquon Barkley did not get 100 yards. They're probably going to want to have Jalen Hurts around 40 yards. There was some game where there were games where he got over 40 yards and lost, but that's not fire you want to be messing with. That's Sam Von Schwartz.